Hello, good morning. What is up? Happy Monday. I am here on time. Can you believe it? George joked with me on Twitter. Did I start the coffee an hour early and leave the computer on? I think I just got lucky. Although I was up early. This is actually cup number 2. I was up early. We got some storms roll through last night, so it was I think that woke me up. And it was like 4:30 and I'm like, well, I can go back to sleep. And I did for like 20 minutes, woke up, like I might as well just get up. So I was up super early for me, around 5, and hit the coffee, shipped some eBay, got the stream ready, and here we are, right on time on a Monday morning. Way to start off the week, right on time. I like that. By Thursday, we'll be 17 minutes late. Jenny, what's up? Good morning. Haven't looked at the checklist yet. Excited to hear about it. It was strange. It was released on a Sunday. Like, you never know these days when Topps is going to push out the checklist for new products. It used to be like clockwork. Up until the pandemic, it was like new products came out on Wednesdays. The week before, the checklist would be released on a Wednesday. Now, the retail only stuff, that was a crapshoot, but Topps Series 1, Series 2, Update, Ginter, Archives, all that stuff. Bowman, it was like clockwork. If it was released on a Wednesday, you could bet your bottom dollar that the checklist would be released on the Wednesday before release day. So Topps Update releases this week. I'm not sure if it's a Wednesday or a Friday release, but it's this week. The checklist was dropped. I saw a link to it yesterday on Twitter, and it was on Sunday, which is kind of weird. So I want to talk about it, kind of know what rookies are going to be in it, because which rookie cards there were in other products this year that have not been in Series 1 or Series 2. So they'll be in it. So we'll take a look at the rookie cards. I'll dive into the Cubs checklist because, well, that's my thing. And just give you my thoughts and opinions on Topps Update. What else is going on? Frank is well, by the way. Haven't talked about Frank. Neighbor Frank, he's doing well. He had burgers on the grill last night. It was a burger night. Frank had burgers. We had burgers. He put the rain gauge out, so we just talked very briefly. He was putting his rain gauge in the backyard. I said, "Are we going to get rain?" And he said, "Yes." And Frank's the weatherman. He knows. We did. We got a lot of rain last night. So Frank is well. Burgers were good. I'm not sure if his burgers were good. My burgers were good. We're all good. I did some winterizing, which usually I'm like depressed when I have to winterize. But yeah, I'm accepting of winter's coming. And I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to just being in. And it's weird because I work from home. I'm home all the flipping time. Card shows are my escape from cards. Isn't that like, doesn't that sound funny? Like, I go to card shows to get away from cards in my basement. No, I do it for the people. It's my fellow dealers at card shows are my coworkers, essentially. So that's my twice a month, 3 times a month. It's my water cooler. Saturdays are my water cooler. I get to go out and socialize. So I'm looking forward to winter, which sounds, why? You're home all the time anyway, but I'm more productive because I'm not enticed by the warm, sunny weather in the summer. Like, I can go for a bike ride. I can go garden. I don't have wintertime hobbies. So I just work, sell cards, look at cards, and I love it. So I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to doing a big rip. And so I scheduled Saturday, December 10th. I'm going to do a big, like, long live stream of just ripping wax that I've accumulated over the last couple of years. new wax that I'll probably pick up during Black November and Black Friday sales. But I think my Club 400 Christmas party, which the special guest at Club 400 will be Brennan Davis, one of the Cubs' top prospects. So he's coming to the Christmas party. And I think that's the night before. I think it's Friday, December 9th, if I'm not mistaken. It's either the 9th or the 10th. I'll have to look it up. If it is the 10th, though, I'm going to have to push my Ripapalooza out. And if it's the 9th, I'll probably be a little tired, aka hungover, for Saturday. But I'll be back by the afternoon to do some ripping. So that I have to look into when that Club 400 Christmas party is. So we've got David in the house. George, what is up? Victor, good morning to you. John says, did someone say series? Jenny says, what's your favorite rookie in it? Doesn't need to be the big rookie, just your favorite. And when does it release? I will answer those questions because my favorite rookie in Topps Update is not who you would think it would be. Unless you saw my tweeter. Hopefully you didn't see my tweeter. If you saw my Twitter yesterday. Herman, what is up? Herman had a pumpkin carving contest over the weekend. Ed, what's up? Card Hobbyist, good morning. So what else happened yesterday? Nothing much. I didn't watch much football because the Bears weren't on. I did not wear, so the Bears play Monday Night Football. Mark Hoyle, what's up? The Bears play Monday Night Football tonight. New England Patriots, Chicago Bears. It'll probably be a snooze fest. So normally I would wear my Bears hoodie, but we're in this weird weather. It's typical Midwest, the wacky, wild late summer of October. So I think it's going to be like in the 70s today. And this is what I find. I was just thinking about this morning was when it comes to weather. So I think it's like freaking cold. It gets flipping cold. But now after we've had like some temperatures where it's been in the 30s, so it's 60 right now, heading toward a high of 73. It's going to dip down. It's going to you dip, you weather, you dip. 64 tomorrow's the high, 73. But it feels hot. Like after having like a week or two of like cold, it's like that wind is biting, and it's just, and then it gets back up to 70, and it's like, Jesus H, it's hotter than hell, and it's like, it's 70. So it's all relative. So 60 and 70 isn't cold anymore. It's like, oh damn, it's 70. I can't wear, if it's 70 in like August or September, like I'll wear a long sleeve shirt to take the dog for a walk, but now it's 70 and it's like, oh my God, it's hot. I have to wear a polo. It's so hot. So that's weird. I also had, there's another thing I want to talk about before I get into Topps Update as well. Jenny went to a card show yesterday, showed up 10 minutes early, and it was packed. That is awesome. Victor says, weird 64 and rainy. Kyle says, looking forward to watching Monday Night Manning break down Ditka's offense tonight. I like to picture Ditka still running the Bears. Hell yeah. Jenny loves the Manning brothers version of Monday Night Football. I don't know if I've ever I've flipped it on, but I don't. Since it's the Bears, I think I'll watch the Manning cast. Since it's the Bears, because it'll be more entertaining than the actual football with the Bears on the field. So I think I will. I'll watch the Manning cast. Cooter's with us. What's up, Cooter? Andrew, good morning to you. Paige and Dini Bean. Card Hobbyist says, I'll pull for the Bears tonight on account of who the opponent is. We'll take your fandom tonight. Herman says, wouldn't you know I'm headed out of town for work? Bummer. Jenny says, who are the Bears playing? They have the Patriots. Jaden, what's up? Good morning to you. Nice tweeter you got there. Thank you. Thank you very much. So over the weekend, I picked up, and I didn't talk about this. Card Hobby says, can we have a Marshawn Lynch cast of Monday Night Football? There you go. That would be entertaining. Speaking of entertaining, Antonio Brown went off on Twitter again yesterday, bashing Tom Brady and his former team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's almost like I look forward to Sundays to see what Antonio Brown comes up with on Twitter. So over the weekend, I picked up a new book. It's a book that I've been wanting for like 6 years. It came out I think in 2016, maybe 2017. It's from Baseball America, and it's the ultimate draft book. And I am the ultimate draft nerd. I absolutely love I love all I love the three major sports drafts: baseball, football, basketball. And I've loved the baseball draft since the early days of online streaming. MLB.com would stream the draft as early as like 2002, 2001, 2002. And it was basically just like the Pittsburgh Pirates with the first selection. And then they go to the Pittsburgh Pirate phone, and the Pirates come on because it's like the commissioner not the commissioner, but just like the guy who reads off the names. They go to the Pirates, and the guy who's running the phone for the Pirates says, the Pirates select, and it's like an ID, like basically like a prison number, like player 747896, Brian Bullington, pitcher. And then I think the commissioner, whoever was running the draft, would say the Pirates select blah blah. What the hell? My phone. So that was like the early days of online draft. So I've loved the baseball draft. There was a book that was published like back in the 90s, I think, that I have. But this is like, it's the ultimate draft book, and it is the ultimate draft book. So I was reading through it, and I love like the little tidbits of just like all of the ephemera from the baseball draft. And so one thing that like stood out to me was Barry Bonds was drafted out of high school. And I knew this, but it's like one of those things that you just forget over time. He was drafted in the second round out of high school by his future team, not the team that later drafted him, but the San Francisco Giants. And I thought to myself, damn, what if he would have signed out of high school with the Giants and came up with Will Clark? Those Giants teams of the late 80s, early 90s with Will Clark and Barry Bonds. Holy crap. I mean, the Giants were good anyway. Without Barry Bonds in that time frame, but with holy crap. So then I got to thinking, like in my lifetime, which is a nice cutoff. I was born in 1982. So we'll just say like the 80s through today. So basically the last 40 years in baseball. What would your ultimate baseball lineup be? And so I got to thinking, for me, like Barry Bonds would be like the top, like he would be the player from 1980 to now that I would want to build my team around. But then I got to thinking, what if it was draft style? And I had the number 1 overall pick to build a lineup, and let's just keep it to offense, to build a lineup of players from 1980 through today. And I don't know if Barry Bonds would be my number 1 pick. Who would my number 1 pick be? I might go Rickey Henderson. He might be my number 1 pick. Building a baseball team, a lineup of players from 1980 through 2022. My number 1 pick might be Rickey Henderson. If I were able to pick 2, Barry Bonds would definitely. I mean, Barry Bonds, if I took Rickey Henderson 1 and say I'm not like drafting against other people, I would say Barry Bonds would be my second pick. But I don't think Barry Bonds would be my first pick in like a competitive draft format. Like I think if I had the number 1 overall pick and I had to choose between Barry Bonds or Rickey Henderson, I would go Rickey. I mean, just the greatest leadoff hitter of all time, and just what he can do. So what would you like? Who would your lineup be, or who would your first pick be? Who would your lineup be? 1980, and we're talking like I know some people like some players, were like at the end of this. So we're not talking like, okay, Johnny Bench played in 1980 or Carl Yastrzemski played into the first couple of years of the 80s. But they were on like their downhill. So we're talking like you're only taking like as they were in 1980. So Carl Yastrzemski, you're probably not going to want him in the first round because by 1980, 81, 82, he was not Carl Yastrzemski of the 60s and 70s. So 1980 to now, Who would you want to build your team around? I've seen Zach and Porter also going with Ricky Henderson. Kyle Katz says Will Clark, Kevin Mitchell, Matt Williams were beasts in RBI baseball. Adding Barry Bonds to that squad would have made the Giants incredible. I know. James says Cal Ripken. So we've got Cal Ripken Jr. Johnny Boy Cards is with us. John goes Roger Clemens, then Maddox. Now I was just going off offense. So pitching aside, I think that's I would want to do like a pitcher, like I would want to do like an offense draft and then a separate pitcher draft. Like I wouldn't want to do this. And this is all we're just all spitballing here, but offensively speaking. And then we could do pitchers. I think if in the pitcher draft, I'd probably go Roger Clemens from that time, from 1980 to now, starting pitcher. I'd probably go Roger Clemens number 1. Let's see. So John says Clemens, then Maddox. Red Light 34, good morning to you. Card Hobbyist says Ricky leadoff followed by Ichiro, automatic run in the first inning. There you go, Ichiro. Yeah, that's a player that I really kind of didn't think of. I think I was just kind of focused on 80s and 90s players. And it's like, well, who from like the now generation? Brian Dean says Ricky for leadoff, Ken Griffey Jr. for cleanup. See, I was going to put Barry Bonds. I was going to put Ricky at leadoff and then Barry Bonds in my cleanup. So maybe I'd go Griffey 3. Maybe I'd bat Griffey 3rd because obviously Griffey's going to be on my team. Who else would I put on there? Who's going to be my catcher? 1980 to now catcher. I'm not gonna say Yadier Molina because I hate Yadier Molina. Who were some other like stud catchers? Joe Mauer, Buster Posey, Carlton Fisk had some good. I might go the other Pudge, Ivan Rodriguez. You've got Mike Piazza. Ooh, the catcher position's tough. There's not like. For me, in my opinion, I don't know if there's like a catcher that is like an automatic. Like for me, like Ricky Henderson, leadoff, boom, no doubt about it. Barry Bonds, for me, I'm putting him cleanup. Griffey, I'm putting in center field, no doubt about it. But catcher, I don't know if I have like a no doubter catcher from 1980 to now. Fall Creek's got to have Ripken. And then so it's like, okay, I'm looking at second base. Do I go Rhino? I think I'm going Rhino at second base, even though I probably have blue and red cubby blue sunglasses on. But I'd probably go Rhino at second base. Let's see. Jenny says McGuire. Red Light 34. Where are we at? Red Light 34 says, how did your card show go over the weekend? It was okay. It was a different show. Check out my video yesterday. I did a review. I did a full review of the Madison Card Show yesterday, and then there's also video. I did a live walkthrough on Saturday at the show. Kyle's going 1980, Ricky Henderson, Paul Molitor, Eddie Murray, and Mike Schmidt. Oh, Mike Schmidt, man. Mike Schmidt's another one that I would Tony Gwynn. Yes, Tony Gwynn. I mean, never strikes out. Great batter. John's going Jeffries, Greg Jeffries. Jenny adds Ozzie Smith and Bo Jackson. Oh, man, yeah. Zach and Porter would go Randy Johnson and Pedro Martinez in the pitcher draft. Let's see. Fall Creek throws out Darryl Strawberry before he found winter. Before he found the snow. Let's see. David Ortiz. I would have loved if he played for my Twins. Kirby Puckett and Tony Gwynn. Card Hobby's thrown out. Okay, so here we've got some catchers: Piazza, Mauer, Tony Pena, or Pudge. Yeah, and there's not like a no doubt catcher from that era that it's like, yep, gotta have this guy as my catcher. I'd probably go if I had to pick among those. I'd probably go Pudge Rodriguez. Pudge Rodriguez, 80 to now catcher. John says, I once asked who had the better first 10 years, Griffey, Pujols, or Trout. That's a good question. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I'd have to look at the numbers. Like I don't have the numbers I'd have to look at the numbers. Otherwise, just anecdotally, it's like I don't know. Let's see. Because sometimes the numbers surprise you. Pudge, Piazza, Tony Pena, Piazza Pudge. Paige and Deanie Bean says Tony Gwynn. We've got David with Bonds, Henderson, Ripken, pitchers, Maddox, Randy Johnson, and Verlander. Verlander's there's another good pitcher. So my starting five, I'd have to have Roger Clemens on the mound, Greg Maddox on the mound. I think Randy Johnson's a great option. So that's what I've got 3. I think I might have to go Verlander in there. And then who's another stud pitcher? If this doesn't count, but I'd say Jake Arrieta 2015, like the greatest pitching season of all time. Zach and Porter says Benny Santiago, there you go, who later became a Cub toward the end of his career. Jeff Kent at second base. Nope, I'm not going Jeff Kent. I'm putting Rhino at second. Card Hobbyist would put Pujols over McGuire. I probably would too. I would probably edge Pujols, but I don't even know if Pujols would make my team. I don't know if Pujols would make my team. Gary Carter. Yeah, Gary Carter. There's another great catcher. Boggs versus Schmidt. Who do you go with at third? So I'm a little, I'm going to be a little like, there's some bias here on my pick. There's a National League bias. I saw more Schmidt in the 80s than I saw Boggs. But also, being in the National League, Mike Schmidt was an absolute Cubs killer. So, I mean, Mike Schmidt, when I was a kid watching Cubs games and when the Cubs played the Phillies, Mike Schmidt would like single-handedly beat the Cubs. So I thought Mike Schmidt was in the 80s as a little kid. I thought Mike Schmidt was like the greatest baseball player of all time by miles, just because of what he did against my Cubs. And that was the only games I really watched in the 80s. So I'm taking Mike Schmidt just because of that bias. Dan says, good morning, all. Joe Creedy, the best defensive baseball player on the South Side of all time. Joe Creedy. Let's see. Zach and Porter says you need to Thomas to better first 10 years. Compare him and Trout. There's a meme for that from Chris Kamka. Stacks and Packs throws out Ohtani. So here's the thing with Ohtani. This is Ohtani's greatness makes it difficult because it's like he's really, really, really good on the mound as a pitcher, and he's really, really good as a hitter, but he's not like, in my opinion, he's not among the best at either. So like, I don't know if I can put Ohtani on my team. I'd put him on my bench for sure because he can go as a pitcher. Kershaw, Mark has Pedro. Brian's going to throw out the wild thing just for fun. There you go. Mitch, we need some Mitch Williams. Jenny says Chris Bryant would need to get in on mine, but 2016 Bryant, not 2022 Bryant. So yeah, there you like early Chris Bryant. If we could like narrow it by season, that's a whole nother ball of wax, ball of worms, can of worms. Let's see. John says everybody beat the Cubs back then. That's true, except in 1984. And then the Padres beat the Cubs in 84. Jenny says, I'm surprised I haven't heard Jeter here yet. Jeter's another one where it's like he's not gonna make my starting lineup, but he'd probably be a top pick for my bench. Herman's gonna throw out Greg Maddox. Cooter says, duh, Keith Moreland. Dan says, do we agree that the Yankees let Judge walk and they will sign Ohtani next offseason? Ooh, that very well could happen. Kyle says, Mike Schmidt and his mustache hurt my feelings every time he faced the Cubs as a kid. I know him and it seemed like Andy, and this could be just like, it could be I watched like one game as a child that Andy Van Slyke hit a home run and I thought Andy Van Slyke was a Cubs killer. So it could just be that, but I always remember Andy Van Slyke being a Cubs killer. Same with Orlando Merced for some reason, who later played for the Cubs. John says Jeter way behind A-Rod. I would agree with that. I don't know if I would put him way behind A-Rod, but I would put A-Rod ahead of Jeter. Ohtani is 2 players in one, obvious choice. Jeter ain't much better than Noma. A-Rod was a better all-around player than Jeter, but Jeter had the personality. Yes, he did. So that was something I thought of. I was reading the Ultimate Draft Book, the Ultimate Baseball Draft Book by Baseball America. I've been flipping through it. It's fascinating. Like some of the like the worst draft, Herman's Atlanta Braves were awarded the worst draft of all time, 1981. Out of like 47 players selected by the Braves in 1981, 0 ever played a single game in Major League Baseball. And I think their first round pick topped out at AAA. Only one of the 47 players even made it to AAA. So the Atlanta Braves 1981 draft goes down as the worst draft of all time. I think the Dodgers had the best draft when they had like Garvey and Bobby Valentine. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe all these guys came out of the same draft. And let's see what else. 9 Heisman Trophy winners have been drafted. Kyler Murray's the latest, and he was drafted after this book was published, because I went back and I'm like, well, since this book was published in 2016, I know Kyler Murray was drafted in the first round by the Oakland A's, and then went football, which ended up being a good decision for him. And now I was trying to think this morning without looking who other Heisman. Charlie Ward, and this is the fascinating one. Charlie Ward was drafted twice in the baseball draft. Twice. He was a Heisman Trophy winner. He was drafted twice in baseball, and he was a first-round NBA draft pick and ended up playing in the NBA for the New York Knicks, and he was never drafted in the NFL draft. Heisman Trophy winner, Charlie Ward. So he was one of them. Who was there was, of course, Bo Jackson was a Heisman draft pick, and there were several others, 9 in total. Let's see. Where are we at? Dan says Torrey Hunter of the Twins and Mike Sweeney of the Royals were longtime White Sox killers. John says personality doesn't win games. Not surprising. The Braves were very bad in the 80s. Let's see. Yeah, and that's kind of what it set them back for years. Fall Creek says apparently personalities win Gold Gloves. John says the greatest players of all time had 0 personality for the most part. Brian says forgot about Kirby Puckett. So that was a fun little exercise. I was going through my head this morning, like who would I put in my all-time, just like from the last 40 years, who would be on my lineup. So that's, yeah, I was reading through the baseball draft book. It's an awesome book. Love it. It's huge. It's like it's 8x11. It's like your standard paper page, and it's like 770 pages at 8x11. So it's an absolutely huge book. There's the sex bots. What is up? Fall Creek says Dave Winfield. Yes, and wasn't he drafted in the NHL also? I thought there was somebody that was drafted by all 4, and I thought that was Winfield. Because he was from Minnesota. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Tops update. Checklist was released yesterday. It's become maybe that's what I was thinking of, John. He was drafted in both the ABA and NBA, so he was drafted in 4 professional leagues. He was a stud basketball player at the University of Minnesota. Dave Winfield. So let's see. He was drafted. Let's see. Professional career. He played for a lot more teams than I remember. He played for the Indians in 95. See, I don't remember that. He played for the Twins for 2 years. I do remember that. Blue Jays, I remember that. Angels, Yankees, and Padres. Okay, so I guess I do recall most of those. Let's see. So, baseball scholarship, University of Minnesota, where he started baseball and basketball for the Gophers. Let's see. He was drafted by the Padres with the 4th overall pick. In the baseball draft, he was drafted by the Atlanta Hawks in the 5th round of the 1973 NBA draft and by the Utah Stars of the ABA in the 6th round of the 73 ABA draft. Though he never played college football, the Minnesota Vikings selected Winfield in the 17th round of the 1973 NFL draft. So was not selected in the hockey draft. Let's see. Dan says, did anyone want a show last night about grading? Did anyone watch the show last night about grading magazines? I did not see the show, but I saw the clip on YouTube from Jeremy Lee. Like, is it the next craze? And at first I'm like, I hope, because I'm a hoarder and I keep like magazines. Like, here you go. Ahmed Johnson, WWF magazine. Now this wouldn't grade well because it's been read and it's got a mailing label on it. Let's see. So this is, oh, I guess I did pull the cards out of this, but I think this has a pull-out poster of Rocky Maivia, like his first appearance in WWF magazine. Anyway. So it's like, man, that would be really cool if magazine grading was the next best thing, next big thing. But at the same time, I read magazines, so they're not like gradable. Let's see. Matt says, can we have a moment of silence for the Yankees? David says, Tom Glavine was a 4th round NHL draft pick. LOL Yanks. As a Twins fan, they can go home, but I also hate the Astros, right? Astros and Phillies. I'm happy for the Phillies. Astros and Yankees, like really, it's what's worst. I can't say which is the better of which is the worst of two evils. I don't like either team. I think I wanted the Astros, and the Astros swept the Yankees. I was probably pulling for the Astros just for my own financial gain because I have more Yordan Alvarez and Jeremy Pena baseball cards to sell than I do Aaron Judge and whoever else is on the Yankees. So I think it was for my own selfish, financially driven reasons that I wanted the Astros to beat the Yankees. Let's see. Card Hobbyist says, make your predictions. Do Astros win championship to spite the haters, or do the Phillies complete their magical run? I'm going to go with my heart here and say the Phillies win. I'm going to go with my heart, and I hope the Phillies win. So I'm going to say Phillies. And I'm going to will it to happen. Cooter says, got Winfield's auto at Arlington Stadium. He signed, turned, and almost knocked himself out on the crossbar that went across the dugout. Fall Creek says, yikes. Yankees were grossly outplayed both offensively and pitching. John says, Astros have carved out a nice niche for themselves as an evil empire. Worked for the Raiders for years, still does. Yeah, here we are. 4 out of 6 times the Astros get to the World Series. Something that me and all my fellow Cubs fans wanted to happen in Chicago. A little dynasty. Rematch of the 1980 National League Championship Series. Yep, Astros, Phillies. So 2022 Topps Update Checklist is released. This has become like the most anticipated checklist. What's up, Dan? The most anticipated checklist of each year. Because it's become Topps Update has become home of the rookie card, which was Bowman's slogan back in the 90s. Home of the rookie card. And after a disappointing Series 2 checklist, where we didn't see Seiya Suzuki, Bobby Witt, or Julio Rodriguez, we knew they would be in Topps Update because they do have rookie cards this year. So since they weren't in Series 1 or Series 2, and then a couple of them popped up as short prints, we knew their base rookie cards would come in Topps Update. And of course, here we are. So we've got the top rookies. We've got Julio Rodriguez, Bobby Witt Jr., Spencer Torkelson, Seiya Suzuki. Let's see. And I like Cardboard Connection actually did a breakdown of the base rookies. There's 62 base rookie cards on the checklist. I'm just going to name a few. We've got Simon Muzziotti of the Phillies. That's a name that I do recognize. CJ Abrams of the Padres. Lucius Fox of the Nationals. I met him when he was in the minor leagues. He did not sign a Bowman Platinum card for me because it wasn't him. It was somebody else in the photo. He goes, that's not me. Like, oh, okay. Gosuke Kato for the Blue Jays. He came up with the Yankees. J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez has a rookie card in Topps Update. Bryce Elder of the Braves. Andre Palante of the Cardinals, Alex Faedo of the Tigers. Those three are pitchers. Orioles rookie Rylan Bannon. I'm just naming a few here. Mackenzie Gore for the Padres. Of course, Bobby Witt Jr. Royce Lewis of the Twins. Let's see. Jose Miranda of the Twins. Julio Ramos of the Giants. Hunter Green of the Cincinnati Reds, former number 2 pick in the draft. Pitcher George Kirby of the Seattle Mariners. Alec Thomas of the Diamondbacks. Catcher for the Royals, MJ Melendez. Oh, I forgot about Bryson Stott of the Phillies. Has a rookie card in Topps Update. Gabriel Arias of the Cleveland Guardians. Jeremy Pena of the World Series bound Houston Astros. Seiya Suzuki and his teammate Ethan Roberts of the Cubs. Stephen Kwan. I forgot about Stephen Kwan from the Guardians. Let's see. Nick Lodolo of the Cincinnati Reds. Those are some of the rookies, 62 in all in the 2022 Topps Update rookie card checklist. Matt says, as long as Davy Garcia doesn't have his 5th rookie card again. No Davy Garcia rookie card. So Jenny asked me, who's my favorite rookie card? By far, not even close, my favorite rookie card of 2022 Topps Update, Chicago Cubs pitcher, no, not Seiya Suzuki, Ethan Roberts. And I'll tell you why. So Ethan Roberts and I have become friends through social media back. Well, it's kind of a draft episode. He was drafted by the Cubs, I think, in the 6th round back in 2018. And in 2018, I love custom cards. And I always loved, like, man, I wish I could make custom cards of like players that don't have baseball cards. So there's a great app. If you haven't heard of it, download it. Unfortunately, it's been still coming to Android for like 9 years. It still hasn't. But if you have an iPhone, you can download the Rookies app. You can design your own cards. And they have some of the baseball card designs of the past. 88 Donruss and 88 Score are a couple of my favorites. 82 Topps, 85 Donruss. They're just what's the saying? Just not the same, but totally different, or something. Just the same or totally different. Anyway, so in 2018, I created a custom card, a custom card of each player that was drafted in the 40 rounds back in 2018 by the Chicago Cubs. And Ethan Roberts reached out to me on Twitter. He's like, "Hey man, how can I get one of those custom cards?" And I'm like, "I'll send it to you." I'm like, "Hey, how about this? I'll send you 5, keep 3 and sign 2 and send back 2 for me." And he's like, "Oh yeah, absolutely." So we just kind of like, we're talking back and forth. We're, DMing back and forth, sent him the cards. He sent them back. And then one of the photographers, when he got to South Bend in the minor leagues with the South Bend Cubs, one of the photographers like sent me like her Dropbox. And so she's like, "Yeah, you can use any pictures you want for print 8x10s or cards, do whatever." So Rebecca's her name. Awesome. So I printed a bunch of Rebecca's photos, and I'm like, "Hey, Ethan, if I send you some 8x10s, can you sign them?" And so he did. And because of, so when I went to spring training in 2020, right before the pandemic, I went early, which was good because it was before the pandemic. But it was also like before half of the minor league players reported. So Ethan was like kind of one of the later reporting guys. So I did not get to meet Ethan in 2020. Of course, 2021 was the COVID year. I didn't go to spring training. So this past spring, I was able to meet him, and we were able to, and it was so surreal to me because I'm like an ultimate fan, and Ethan Roberts is like on the brink of making his major league debut. And this is a kid that, we've been messaging back and forth now for 4 years, and, just talking baseball cards and all that. And so for me, it was so surreal that here's a kid that's a pitcher for the Chicago Cubs, and he comes out of the locker room and, points me out and comes over, and we just talk, like just have a brief conversation as he's going to pitch for the Chicago Cubs. So ultimate for me fanboy moment. And so was finally able to meet him, and through the week that I was there, talk to him, a few times. And he's kind of got in over the last couple of years. He's kind of got into collecting cards as well. And he's such a good dude, such a great guy. And so he came up with the Cubs, made his debut in April, made the opening day roster for the Chicago Cubs. And I'm like, man, I hope Ethan gets a rookie card this year. And he hasn't had a card yet, but he's on the Topps update checklist. So I'm super happy. I tweeted it out yesterday. He's like, man, I'm going to have to collect a few of these. So I'm going to chase the rainbow. I'm going to be the Ethan Roberts. I might have competition with Ethan Roberts himself. So we'll see. So I'm going to super collect the Ethan Roberts run in Topps update. So that's my very favorite rookie card in 2022 Topps update, Ethan Roberts. So looking forward to seeing what those look like, and hopefully I can pull one out of a pack. So let's go into the chat. Card Hobbyist says no Michael Harris. No, I did not see Michael Harris. Let's see. Michael Harris. No, doesn't have a single card on the checklist. Let's see. Back to the chat. I'm going to get to, speaking of Cubs, I'm going to bounce back and talk about the Cubs checklist. Victor says not Christian Martel just got on. Good morning. What's up, Victor? Christian Martel. Is he a rookie? I'm not familiar with Martel. No Christian Martel. Let's see. Andrew says, isn't Lucius Fox Batman's weapons designer? I don't know. But it's a cool name. Let's see. John says, I don't see your little baseball pal Ethan hanging out here every morning. That's true friendship. Well, he's not a couch. He's a professional athlete. He's not a couch people yet. Rich says, you were talking about someone refusing to sign a card because it was not him. Yeah, Lucius Fox. It was a Bowman Platinum, like 2017 Bowman Platinum, I think. Lucius Fox, who has a rookie card in Topps update this year. Let's see. Cooter says TCDB lists 2,635 unique Bobby Witt Jr. cards already. Rookie cards are a BS racket, right? Let's see. Rich says, this is my favorite case of a player signing a card that is not him pictured. Okay, I'm going to have to open that link. So Rich's link is Jerry. Is it Jerry Snyder? I love it. I love it. Jerry Snyder signs the card and then inscribes it. This isn't me. Rich, I will have to agree. That is amazing. Let's see. Hit that like button, by the way, and good morning to you. Like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Zach and Porter says you should call your custom cards Boater cards like the old Broder. I do get it. I love it. Let's see. Brian says, love that story. Hoping the same thing happens for Riley Martin. Similar story with Riley Martin. So I met him at spring training. And of course I said, yeah, I grew up in Macomb, and obviously Riley Martin, a Quincy guy. So, and I took some photos, as he was like doing long toss in the outfield. And so I printed custom cards like after spring training. And so Riley was pitching with South Bend this summer, and I saw him in Beloit. So I had like 3 custom cards of Riley Martin and asked him to sign. And I forgot, I need to send him some. And he's like, hey, I've never seen this before. I'm like, well, it's a custom. And he's like, well, I've never even seen this photo. And I'm like, oh, I took this at spring training this year. And he's like, oh, this is super cool. Can you send me some? So, so if you happen to see Riley Martin, tell him the guy with the custom cards, will send them soon. I also, Miguel Pabon, who's, now a catcher. He was converted. He reached out to me, sent me a DM this week, and he's like, hey man, I sent him some customs, around spring training. And, he's like, hey man, I got converted to catcher in Instructs. I've got some photos. If I send you photos, can you make some more cards? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Dan says, I'm checking out a private collection tomorrow evening. This is the collection from the guy who connected me to the last 500,000 card collection that I bought. Dan is on a roll. Love it. Jenny says there was an Orioles player that signed thanks Topps. This isn't me in like 2016. That's awesome. Oh, Victor says Chris Morel. No. And we knew Christopher Morel would not have a rookie card this year because Topps now, what really sucks is Topps now didn't do a card of him after he hit a home run in his debut. And that was like the ultimate travesty. And it was right around the time where it was probably the cutoff for getting a rookie card in 2022 based on the printing deadlines. So when he did get a Topps Now, and then he kept hitting, when he did get a Topps Now card, it had the call-up logo. So if there's a call-up logo, we know there's not going to be a rookie card. So Christopher Morel will be in Series 1 2023, despite playing like all of 2022. So there you go. There's another what's wrong with this picture. Matt Weinman says, I always wanted to make local high school cards, but never knew if it was allowed. I mean, you can. With local high school, you can probably make them and sell them if you're using your own photos. It's probably something you might want to look into with the local high school. But I would assume, I mean, no, it's okay. I mean, I worked in newspapers, so no, you can sell your own. If you go to like a local high school and take photos, you can sell those and make your own custom sets. Now, you can't I'm not going to make custom cards of Riley Martin and Miguel Pabon and Ethan Roberts and sell those because obviously there's a lot, you just can't do that. But high school, there shouldn't be any issues with, going out to the local high school game, taking photos, creating a set. So don't quote me on that. But I would assume that is okay and legal and all that, because we would do, we would go broadcast, when I was in radio, we broadcasted high school games and we would sell CDs. Well, back in the day when I first started in radio, we would sell cassette tapes, like $5 per cassette of, high school, Johnson High School versus Smith High School. Those are fake high schools. Tracy, good morning to you. Let's see. So Topps update. So that's the rookie cards. The Cubs checklist is pretty extensive. I like the Cubs checklist because Ethan Roberts has a rookie card. So we've got Cubs checklist, Marcus Stroman in a Cubs uniform, which I think we've only seen him in Gypsy Queen as in a Cubs uniform, maybe in one or two other products. I don't know if I have any Stroman Cubs cards outside of Gypsy Queen. Andrelton Simmons. Let's see. Drew Smiley, Michael Givens, Daniel Norris, Jonathan VR. And this is why I like Topps Update, because it's like players like this that are on the checklist. And I like that. Let's see. We've got a Cubs Pirates combo card, Seiya Suzuki and Yoshi Satsugo. We've got Clint Frazier, Yan Gomes, Seiya Suzuki and Ethan Roberts rookie cards. Suzuki also has a rookie debut card. I didn't even see this one when I looked at the checklist yesterday. A Cubs rookie combo, Trent Giambrone and Scott Effross now with the Yankees. So there's the Cubs checklist. I like it. Let's see. Stroman, Suzuki, Ethan Roberts also have base clear cards. Let's see. The 87. So now let's go to autographs. The 87 Topps design for autographs, because we don't get enough 87 Topps designs. Carl Yastrzemski has an auto. Let's see. So autograph checklist. We've got Yaz, Doc Gooden, Juan Gonzalez, Jim Thome, Mike Schmidt, Ronald Acuna. Let's see. Tom Glavine, mentioned earlier about his hockey career. Wade Boggs has an autograph. Aaron Judge. Let's see. These are autographs in the 1987 Topps design. Bobby Witt Jr., Derek Jeter, Fernando Tatis Jr. Cubs have an auto in there. Greg Deichmann. Let's see. Hunter Green. Jay Buhner has an autograph in Topps Update. Jacob deGrom. Let's see. Jonathan India of the Reds. Julio Rodriguez. Juan Soto. Manny Ramirez. Mike Trout. So it's a pretty top-heavy autograph product. Let's see. O'Neal Cruz of the Pirates. Reed Detmers. Rafael Devers. Shohei. Bryson Stott. Spencer Torkelson. Wander Franco has an autograph. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So those are just some of the base rookies, or the 87 Topps rookies in Topps Update. So I'm looking forward to it, just because, it's loaded with rookies, top rookies, and my buddy Ethan Roberts has a card. Let's see. Brian says kids now have NIL deals. Cooter says schools now require parents sign a waiver at enrollment for kids to be pictured in yearbooks So cards are probably a problem as many high school players are minors. So yeah, I don't know. Like, it would have been okay 10 years ago for sure. I don't know now. So I'm curious, what about like newspapers? Like, you're not signing waivers. The newspaper's not going out to the school having every kid sign a waiver to be pictured in the newspaper. So I think, I'm not sure how that works. Let's see. Jenny says these are autographs you could pull, but we will all pull those cup of coffee guys. Yeah, those. So the names I named, you're probably not going to get those guys. You're going to get AJ Alexi of the Texas Rangers, or Alex Wells of the Orioles, or Angel Zerpa of the Royals. Let's see. Those are, or Greg Deichmann of the Cubs, or like Jacob Brents of the Royals, or Tyler Gilbert of the Diamondbacks, or Zach Pop of the Marlins. Those are the autographs you're likely to pull. Giovanni Moran of the Twins, John Heasley. Man, the Royals have some, I mean, yeah, they're major league players, but these are names I've never even heard of. But there's a lot. So I guess if you're in a Royals break, you have a lot of autographs. You've got Whit Merrifield, Angel Zerpa. Oh, well, you've got Bobby Witt Jr. So the Royals are going to sell for high, but there's also there's quality and quantity. Jacob Brents, John Heasley. So that's what, 5 already? Kansas City Royals autographs with the headliner of Bobby Witt Jr. So yeah, Cubs only have Wilson Contreras and Greg Deichmann on the autograph checklist. Let's see. Where are we at? Fall Creek says you sign a waiver when you sign up for your local athletic code. Let's see. Brian says numbered out of 99 GQ Stroman Auto on eBay, $9.99 free shipping. Not too shabby. So let's see. Stacks and Packs says, how many cases of Update are you ripping? Jumbo Hobby? None. I'm not going to buy any Update Hobby. I will go if I find it at retail, I'll buy some retail, but I'm not. The prices are absurd. Let's see. Let's just go out to Blowout and see what the prices are. I don't want to pay this type of money for Topps Update. I'm sure it's got to be a trending pre-order. It is. So a 6-box jumbo case is $1,300. What's a hobby case run? It's got to be on here. Topps Finest, Topps Update. So jumbo boxes are $230. That seems a little too high for me for Topps Update. 2022 Topps Update. We've got okay, so a hobby box is $115, which I guess isn't terribly unreasonable, but it's still like a tough pill to swallow for a hobby box of Topps flagship. And there's 24. We got to do my breakdown. I know Pepino Man gets a kick out of my price per card breakdowns. So we've got $115. Let's just assume free shipping. Say we're going to buy enough. I think free shipping is like on 200. So if you buy 2 boxes, yeah, free shipping on at $199. So buy 2 boxes, get free shipping. So $114.95 divided by, we got to do the math here. 24 packs per box times 14, 336 cards. So you're paying about 34 cents per card. And that's just not, and how I look at it is, can I sell base singles commons? No. I mean, I can, but that's a tough pill to swallow. So I'm staying away from hobby. I'll buy some retail. Let's see. So no hobby for me. Yeah, newspapers do have contracts with schools, actually, now that you mentioned. They do? That's bizarre. But I haven't been a newspaper in 8 years. 8 years ago, we did not have any contracts. Radio, we did not do contracts. Nothing of that sort. So let's see. But that was 8 years ago. Harry, what's up? Is 85 for a hobby box good? Finding that up in Canada. Yeah, US dollars. Blowout has them for $115 for a hobby box. So I would say, and I would probably buy a few hobby boxes if I could get them for 85 US dollars. I would do that. Let's see. John wants a funnel graphic. A funnel graphic. Let's see. Jenny says contracts as in waivers, I mean, so they can't get sued by parents. Everyone got to cover their butt from being sued in 2022. So Topps update, I'm looking forward to it. If I find it in retail, I'm still looking for archives. I have not seen archives at retail. And I've gone on like Target and Walmart's websites, and I've seen them on eBay, like in hand. So they're out there. I just don't know where. And I haven't seen them. Let's see. I've been searching Topps archives like every day. Let's do filter relevance newest. So Target.com update. Target.com does not appear to have any Topps archives. Let's check out Walmart.com. Walmart.com. And now it's getting to the point where archives has been out for a week and a half, and it's like, do I really want it now? Especially now with Topps update coming out. I've bought so much crap lately. Let's see. Sort by. Well, Walmart doesn't have a newest button. And it does not appear Topps. Oh, hey. Topps Archives 2022. $26.77. They do have it on Walmart.com. Oh, it's sold through a third party. Atlas World Trading, fulfilled by Walmart. Let's see. I wonder if there's, let's see, I just want to stick to retailer, Walmart. Walmart's search functions suck, by the way. Walmart.com. Does not appear to be Jurassic Park cards. Those look pretty, the wrapper looks cool. Let's see. My search for Topps, what's this? Topps Chewing Gum versus Halen Laboratories, U.S. Supreme Court transcript of record with supporting pleadings. What is this? The Making of Modern Law, U.S. Supreme Court, blah, 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 blah. Court case from 1953. Ooh, now I want to search this. Halen Laboratories. I wonder what this is. Anybody know about this case? Court opinions for Topps Chewing Gum versus Halen Laboratories. Let's see. How about this wormhole we're going down? So we're on LexisNexis. Halen Labs versus Topps Chewing Gum, 1953. Let's see. In addition to and independent of the right of privacy, a man has a right in the publicity value of his photograph. Here we go. Hey, this kind of goes line in line with what we were just talking about. This right might be called a right of publicity for its common knowledge that many prominent persons, especially actors and ball players, far from having their feelings bruised through public exposure of their likenesses, would feel sorely deprived if they no longer received money for authorizing advertisements, popularizing their countenances, displayed in newspapers, magazines, buses, trains, and subways. This right of publicity would usually yield them no money unless it could be made the subject of an exclusive grant which barred any other advertiser from using their pictures. Let's see. Facts of the case. Halen Laboratories and baseball players entered into contracts that provided Halen with the exclusive right to use the players' photographs in connections with Halen's gum sales. The players were not to grant any other gum manufacturer a similar right during such term, and Halen had an option to extend the term. Topps Chewing Gum induced the players to enter into contracts that authorized Topps to use players' photographs in connection with sales of Topps gum, either during the original or extended term of Halen's contracts. Topps then used the players' photographs. Halen filed a complaint against Topps alleging that it had induced a sports figure to breach his contract, allowing Halen the exclusive right to market his photograph. The district court dismissed Halen's complaint, and Halen appealed. Did the district court err in dismissing Halen's complaint? The answer, yes. Conclusion, the court reversed the district court's dismissal and remanded the matter to the district court for a determination of the date and contents of each of Halen's contracts, whether Halen exercised its option to renew, and of Topps or its agent's conduct with respect to each such contract. Further, Topps was not liable for any breach induced by a non-agent. The court recognized the right of publicity, which was in addition to the right to privacy, and this right to publication of a picture could have been subject to exclusive rights contracts under New York law. Interesting. So there you go. Halen Laboratories versus Topps. So what is the right of publicity? Interesting. Did I lose everybody? Did I lose everybody? Let's see. Where are we at? Brian says, when will we see LIV Tour golf cards? I don't know. Probably soon. Is there a contract for, is it Live or LIV? I'm not sure. Jenny, have a great day. Paige and Deanie being just what he was wanting. A wiki read. That was from LexisNexis. Matt says, we are here. Didn't lose you. Dan says, I think it will be cool if Fanatics and Topps fuse the Topps Now concept with pieces of a jersey. For example, jersey from First Hit Game for a player made into Topps Now memorabilia cards. That would be pretty cool. So that's what I had for today. I don't want to get down a further Google wormhole. So hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Thanks. Great chat. I'm looking forward to Topps update this week. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central for Hobby Evolution. Have a great Monday.